Is this the greatest Forex robot ever? In this video, I'm gonna break down how multiple people now have turned $500 into over $100,000 trading using this Forex bot. And just to give you proof that this is actually real and this is not some clickbait, this is Prit, he's from the UK, and this has completely changed his life. He said he was able to achieve the $100,000 in profit mark in 9 months, and actually 70,000 of the $100,000 just happened in the last 2 months. This is another user inside of Discord that's been using this for under a year. He's now been able to quit his job, become a full-time algo trader, and already had $100,000 in withdrawals. This is Richard Stevens, a bus driver from the UK, that says that he had made his annual salary in just the last 6 months alone trading with this bot. And he said, just today alone, I've earned the equivalent of 2 months worth of pay. And I believe at this point he's crossed the $100,000 mark. And this is John Silks from Missouri, who was also able to quit his job and I believe has also crossed the $100,000 mark, or if not, is very, very close. What I'm about to share with you is 100% real. All of these people have taken a $500 investment and turned it into over $100,000 in payouts, all using a Forex bot. However, in all transparency, with that being said, these results that I've just shown you are not typical, and you are likely not going to achieve the same or similar results because past performance doesn't necessarily indicate future success. So let's dive in. This video is essentially a case study of exactly what these guys are doing and how they've been able to turn a little $500 investment to over $100,000. To give you an idea, is a 19,900% return on investment, which is absolutely insane. And I know a lot of you guys are skeptical if this is actually legit or not, but let me prove it to you. Now, here's the big problem. If you're looking to become a successful robotic trader, algorithmic trader, or you're looking to trade with an expert advisor, then there's no shortage of expert advisors on the marketplace. You can come to a website like mql5.com and you can scroll and you can literally see hundreds and hundreds of pages of different expert advisors or Forex robots that all claim to be great. However, the vast majority of these, and I know because I've tested a ton of them, are not very good at all. And a lot of them will even show really impressive track records. They'll show this back test that pretty much shows just straight up and to the right, and it looks beautiful, really high profits, really low drawdown, and it looks really great in a back test environment. But when you take it out of the box and you actually go and you start trading in the real live market environment, it actually flops. Now, the other problem with these bots, a lot of them, in order to make any sort of sizable profits, you're gonna have to risk quite a bit of your own capital, meaning like $10,000 or $20,000 that you're gonna likely have to put in some offshore broker that's unregulated, which is a huge risk in of itself. Plus, one of the other big problems is these are just bots that have been developed by random developers that don't really have any sort of company that's supporting them. They don't have any sort of support, and they don't have any sort of ongoing development. So you're pretty much just buying something that somebody created one time, which people can create robots in literally a matter of minutes. So the big question is, what are these guys doing differently that turned $500 into $100,000 versus the vast majority of people that try to trade with a Forex robot and end up failing and blowing their accounts? So here's exactly what they did differently. Like I mentioned earlier, in order to turn $500 into $100,000, if you were to do this on your own, this would mean that you'd essentially need to do a 19,900% return on investment, which is very unlikely. So what all of these guys did is they looked for a more asymmetric opportunity. And what does that mean? That simply means that we can risk just a little bit of money in order to potentially have a huge reward. And this is what the greatest investors of our day, they all look for opportunities where there's just a small little bit of risk that they can take with a huge upside potential. So instead of going out there and risking their own capital or trying to do something impossible like do a 19,900% return on investment, what all these guys did is they looked for a more asymmetric opportunity, and they found that using these things called prop firms, which maybe you're aware of. If you're not aware of what prop firms are simply large capital firms that they basically have this little test, and if you can prove to them that you're a good enough trader and you pass their test, then what they'll do is they'll fund you with their capital. And the best part about this is it allows you to trade with a lot more money with a lot less risk, which is ultimately what we're looking for, something asymmetric. So all of these guys, instead of risking their own money, they use prop firms. And just to give you an idea, all of them went for $100,000 challenges. So what that means is they spent $500 one time to take this test. They happened to pass this test, and they were actually funded $100,000 worth of capital. Now, all of these guys went on to make $100,000 in withdrawals, not just get funded 100K. So what did they do? So after talking to several of these guys, they happen to use two main prop firms primarily. They primarily use a prop firm called True Forex Funds, which has been pretty awesome, and also another prop firm that's called the Funded Trader Program, which is another really popular prop firm that we're seeing amongst the people that are having the most success trading with this robot. And again, the great thing about these robots is it allows us to risk just a little bit of money in the challenge, and if we can pass them, we can get access to a lot of money. And if you're new to prop firms, I've gone ahead and created this table where I've compared kind of the top 12 most popular prop firms in the industry, and I've broken it down so you can really easily side by side compare the different costs of them, how easy or how hard it is to pass them, and any unique features. So I'll make that available for free. You can just check it down in the description below. But here's the problem with these prop firms. As great as this sounds and as asymmetric as an opportunity as this is, the reality is really sad. Only about 6% of people that actually go ahead and take this test actually pass both phases and actually become funded traders. That means that on average, about 94% of people that take these tests are actually just going and they're blowing their challenge fees and getting nothing in return. So to put it loosely, passing these prop firm challenges is really hard. So instead of going out there and trading manually to try and pass these prop firm challenges to get access to more capital, or by going out there and buying some random EA that's on the MQL5 marketplace, what they did is they used a robot called TitanX, Narrow AI, and they also used a process we call prop farming. Now, just to give you an idea, this isn't some fly-by-night robot that was created. This cost us over $2 million to create and over 4 years of research and development to get it up until this point. So as you can see here, this is MT5 trading platform, and this is actually TitanX Robot. TitanX Robot was designed specifically for passing prop firm challenges, not for growing your own small accounts or anything like that. It was built specifically for passing these prop firm challenges. And as you can see inside of TitanX, there's a whole bunch of different inputs that you can customize inside of TitanX, which basically gives it an unlimited ways that you can actually trade TitanX. So for whatever trading strategy that you desire, you can basically change these inputs to get TitanX to trade that exact way. So it's incredibly diverse in what it can do. Now, this is just the robot, and like I mentioned, there's tons of different robots that you can buy on the MQL5 website, but that's not what really makes this special. What really makes this special is the fact that we have a narrow AI system behind it. See, the big problem with Forex robots is they may backtest well, and they may actually perform well in a live market period for a period of time, but the chances are when that market condition changes, if you don't change with it, then the strategy or the robot's going to stop working. And so it's really important that you continuously update your strategies to make sure that it works in current market conditions. As we know, market conditions are always changing. So what we did is we took a page out of Tesla's playbook and we built something called the Prop Farming Leaderboard, which basically houses over 400,000 different trading strategies. And what it does is it sorts through these strategies, runs them constantly, and pushes the strategies that are performing the best up to the top of this leaderboard. So you can basically go ahead, you can check the results by clicking on this button right here, and you can see that strategy has had an 81% pass rate, and you can see if you had started a new challenge every day, whether you would have passed or failed the challenge. So on this leaderboard, you can see strategies that work for True Forex Funds, for FTMO, for the funded traders, for the 5%ers, and you can see what the strategy's names are. You can also see the time frame and the symbol that it trades. You can also see the overall pass rate, the last 12 weeks, how it's performed, and a custom algorithm called the recency score that basically scores strategies that are working right now in the market better than strategies that worked in the past. So the reason why TitanX is different than anything on the market is because there's a community of hundreds of traders that are all sending data about what is working right now. This leaderboard is optimizing over 400,000 strategies and pushing the ones that are working actually the best in the real live market right now. As you can see, this strategy's actually been working live in the market for the past 45 days. So if we just go here and we look at the past 45 days, how it's been performing, it's been performing pretty dang good, as you can tell. So the cool part about this is we know that this strategy didn't only work in a back test, but it's also been crushing it for the past 45 days in the live market. Now, the thing that makes it really simple is you can just go ahead and you can click on files. You can decide if you're taking a 10K, a 50K, or 100K account challenge, and it'll automatically download that strategy settings right, for you. So you just upload it into the MT5 terminal and you're off to the races. So let's actually break down the numbers of exactly what these guys are doing and how they were able to turn a $500 investment into over $100,000 in profits. And again, I'm not saying that this is typical and I'm not guaranteeing you that you're going to have the exact same results, but this is exactly what they did. So they used, number one, they used the Forex Robot, which gave them the flexibility. And then they also used our leaderboard, which is our narrow AI, which basically gives them the updated strategies of what's actually proven to work in the market right now. And so what we've noticed amongst the most successful guys that have been able to do this is they'll start with a $500 test fee, which ultimately can get them up to $100,000 in funding. But what they'll do more specifically is they'll realize that they're not going to pass 100% of the time. What we found over the course of the last year and a half or so is that our funded rate is more close to like 50% of the time. So that means like actually 50% of the time, we're actually going to fail. So on average, we have to take about 2 tests in order to get one. So that means that on average, it costs us like $1,000 in order to get $100,000 in funding. Now, what I noticed amongst these guys after interviewing them, what their strategy would be is after they've gone ahead and they've secured their $100,000 funded account, what they do is on their very first time that they're trading this funded account, they would just go for a small profit target, like 2%. Why do they do this? Because the 2% is a lot easier to achieve than versus going for like a 10%. The likelihood of actually achieving that is a lot less. So they go for a 2% profit target because not only would they make $2,000, but they'd also get their challenge fee refunded, which was $500. Now they'd have about $2,500 that they could play with that they'd then go use, and they wouldn't take this straight to their bank account. But what they would do is they'd use this to now buy out 5 more challenges. So essentially what they're doing is they're doing what all the great hedge fund managers obsess over, is they're building their assets under management. And so all of these guys continue to reinvest into getting more funded accounts until they had multiple of these $100,000 accounts. And a lot of these guys, from what I noticed, had like anywhere from like 5 to 10 different $100,000 funded accounts, meaning that they had access to about $500K to $1 million worth of funding. Now, obviously, when you have $500,000 or $1 million that you're trading with, you don't have to be super aggressive. If you're just going for anywhere from like 2 to 4%, then this can be pretty significant money and get you up to around $100,000 fairly quickly. But overall, what the strategy really was using this initial payout to buy more challenges and to continue to invest into growing their assets under management. And after they had taken their first small conservative 2% payout on their initial account, what they would do is they'd go for a little bit more profit. So on the second one, they'd go for like anywhere from 4% up until like 8% worth of profits. I didn't really see any guys that were going for more than an 8% profit target on their funded account, with the vast majority of them ranging kind of around 4%. And this has really been the secret sauce. They've just simply rinsed and repeated this process, understanding that they're not going to win 100% of the time, but just letting the law of large numbers play out in their favor, continue to invest to get more assets under management, and going for conservative profit targets on the funded account. And again, it's just not these few guys. We've now been able to nail this down to a science where we've been able to help over 650 people become funded traders, which is crazy considering this is quite a difficult feat in order to pass these prop firm challenges and actually get funded. And you may be thinking, well, Adam, if this is so good, then why are you selling this? Why are you giving this away to other people? And why aren't you just doing this for yourself? And the reality is, number one, we are using this for ourselves pretty much every single week. We take a new prop firm challenge. And the second thing is the reason why we're selling this or inviting more people to use this is selfishly because as we gather more and more data on this leaderboard, the strategies only get better and better and better for everybody that's involved. So it's kind of like Bitcoin in a sense. If you know anything about how Bitcoin works, the more people that believe in it and actually set up mining rigs and are actually contributing to the strength of the network, the stronger the infrastructure of Bitcoin actually gets. And it's the same thing with this, that more people that we get data from, the stronger the community gets and the stronger the results on the leaderboard gets. So if you'd like to try this system where you get access to Titan-X, our narrow AI, our plethora of over 400,000 proven strategies on our leaderboard, and a one-on-one success coach to help walk you through this entire process to becoming successful, then simply go to www.propfarming.com and you'll be able to see a full demo of how this works and actually apply to join the program. Oh, and by the way, we're so confident that we can help you get funded that if you don't, for whatever reason, then just let us know and you won't have to pay us a penny, and we'll even refund any of your prop firm challenge fees out of our own pocket. So if you're looking to automate your trading and find the absolute best risk to reward ratio in Forex trading, go to www.propfarming.com to watch the full demo and apply.